What's shaking is bacon, and it is finally Friday. This week has gone on way too long. It's been lingering. Each day just felt like Friday, and I was like clawing at the calendar. I really want to get to the weekend, and finally it's the weekend, and I'm really grateful. But that's not what we're talking about in this video. In this video, we're going to be talking about a recent interview with the president and CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment, the big boss of the PlayStation division, Andrew House. So Mr. House is giving us his thoughts on the current state of PlayStation and where it's been and where it's ended up, and some interesting things here and there. So I wanted to share my thoughts on his thoughts. So let's do it. And by the way, the article will be listed in the description, so check that out. So first, let's talk sales figures. In November this year, the PlayStation 4 hit a milestone of 30 million global sales. This is phenomenal. These numbers are huge. In comparison to the PlayStation 2, the PS4 hit this 2 months earlier in its lifespan. That's insane because that's comparing the PS4 to the best-selling console in history. 155 million units sold worldwide in the PlayStation 2's run. But the PS4, 2 months earlier, is hitting those types of numbers. And you can tell by how he's talking, House is feeling himself over this. He's hype. And I'm gonna read what he says in his voice. I'm gonna do my best. With this generation, we launched against a background of considerable media skepticism about the role of consoles overall. People are saying that consoles are dead and that mobiles and tablets are the only gaming platforms around. But what I see in the developer and publisher community is a sense of return confidence. That translates into something great for the gamer, because if developers are feeling confident that there's a fan base that wants their content, then they will tend to make more creative risks. They will feel more creative about launching brand new IP, which I think is the lifeblood of the industry. And yeah, a lot of people were skeptical about consoles and if they could even progress and compete. I don't think with mobile and tablet, I don't consider those gamers. If that's what all that gaming was, I'd quit. I'd be flat out done with gaming if that's what we were actually resorting to. I honestly think it's more of a console versus PC debate, because when the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One were coming out, I saw a ton of PC elitists in my school raving and going on, but personally I think both platforms have their pros and their cons. If you want a compact system that you can just buy and it'll have everything you pretty much need, and you'll be at an equal playing field with everyone you're playing with, and there's a big ass community, and you'll get exclusive games that are, you know, PlayStation only, Xbox only, console only, then you have what you want. If you want the best graphics, if you want the best single player experience ever, if you want to play these PC exclusive games, if you want to be in touch with vast communities from all over the world at the same time, and just, I don't know, improving yourself, not having to dish out more money each cycle or generation for a new console, then there you have it, a PC. And what he said about IPs being the lifeblood of the industry, that is definitely true. I'm sick and tired of not only remake games, HD collections, old shit that's just being dragged out for no apparent reason. I like new projects, new games that are coming out. Overwatch, Battleborn, those types of things are curveballs. You can't expect them because they're just sporadic. The developers say, you know what, we want to try something new, we want to be different and do this. And that's how the industry evolves. That's how we move forward and progress. If we're all just stagnant, staying with the same projects for, you know, tens of years, we're not gonna move, we're not gonna go anywhere. And the gaming industry has to be one of the most inventive industries out there, and it's great to see them try and spread their wings. Next, House is talking about the progression of said console and the beginnings of this whole PlayStation ride. Usually, it's in the second or third year of a life cycle that you see developers really getting into their stride around a new platform. Then he starts talking about the more outlandish projects from some developers that are coming their way. like No Man's Sky and Media Molecule things. Media Molecule, they're all on some crazy drugs. Media Molecule makes the most outlandish games, the most bizarre shit you'll ever like play. You would never even think of these things unless you were around these people, and it's really cool. No Man's Sky, I cannot wait for that game. I don't know when they're gonna say the release date, but I cannot wait for that game because it looks like a lot of fun. It just looks like a lot of fun, and I can't wait to play it. And I will definitely bringing that on to this channel. But yeah, he says, when we started out in the business, the founders of the organization had a very strong focus on taking creative risks and believed that bringing something new to games was what we should be all about. You look back at some of the early Art Dink games that came out, like Aquanaut's Holiday and Parappa the Rapper. The latter wasn't a huge seller, but we all still think about it. It's great to see that spirit still in the organization. It's clearly something I encourage. Now, I have no idea what the hell Aquanauts is. I'm gonna look that up after making this video. But I definitely know Parappa the Rapper. That man is a savage. And I actually made an art of him, a drawing of him, like 2 days ago. But somehow I ended up deleting that shit, so I can't even show it to you guys. I'm really sad about that. But yeah, I guess they have been making really weird games since back before in the PlayStation 1 era. Then when he's confronted with the whole Xbox One versus PS4 situation, he kind of bites his tongue and holds back a little bit, but he goes on to say this. It's reached a point of what I would describe as a healthy competition, and I use the word healthy very deliberately. I think since Phil Spencer took on leadership of Microsoft's Xbox division, he has been very honest about their approach. He's been, in a very gentlemanly way, complimentary about us in the past. But if you look at something like augmented reality for them or virtual reality for us, we're both trying to build a category overall. At the end of the day, there is a shared goal of great experiences for gamers. So I guess it's safe to say that there's some sportsmanship in this whole console war. Now, I think the console war has been over since middle school. That was like the high point. PS3 versus Xbox 360 in my eyes. That's kind of like some old shit. I don't think that anyone's really still debating that. Honestly, I'd say that for connecting with your friends, personally I think the 360 was better. I never had it, but I had friends who had it. The majority of my friends had it. But in the case of PS4 versus Xbox One, I think it's safe to say that PS4 is winning by a landslide, and it's not just, you know, popularity contest, not just numbers. It's evident in what they have to offer. I just think that the PS4 is the better option, and a lot of my former Xbox players have actually moved over to PS4, which was startling to me. I thought they would just, you know, stick with Xbox and stay for Xbox One, but this isn't a debate about, you know, which console's better. You like whatever you like. You got what you got, and I just think that any console you have is dope because there's so many people who don't even have that kind of shit, and we're privileged to even be talking about this stuff. The interview then progresses with them talking about virtual reality, PlayStation VR headset, whatever, and the interviewer is asking him, do you think that we'll be seeing, you know, entertainment, sports, music in the form of virtual reality anytime soon from PlayStation? And House goes and says this. That's something we're definitely investigating, but it will probably come in a second phase of VR development for use, because our first focus is on games. And when it comes to high production value, 360-degree camera generated live action experiences, there's still, in my view, a lot of work to be done on the back end production before they get to a point where they're saying that they're ready for prime time. But that's an area where I think Sony can bring a lot to bear from other divisions within the corporation. And people, this is what I like to hear, because PlayStation, when the PS4 was coming out, was saying we're all about the games. That was their thing. We are about the games. This is PlayStation. We're all games. Xbox One was talking about, you know, being an entertainment platform, and that's not bad. It's just that I'm a gamer and I buy a console to play games. So the fact that they're transferring that into this new phase, this movement for virtual reality, is reassuring. It'd be nice to have whatever entertainment they want to add, but it's not like they ruled it out. It will come possibly in a new step, in another progression towards whatever. Next, they talk about PlayStation Now, but I'm not interested in that. If you guys really want to see that badly, then check that link in the description, see the full article for yourself. I'm not interested in PlayStation Now, and I don't think a lot of you are either. I mean, it's there for you. You know what it's like if you are on PlayStation. I have never gotten anything from it because it's silly to me to buy PlayStation 3 games on my PlayStation 4 and not actually own them but rent them. You know, only have them for a limited amount of time for a certain price. You see, now if it was like the Netflix of gaming, it would be booming. I mean, PlayStation 3 games on there and you just pay like a monthly fee to just play whatever you want. That'd be insane. But I don't think they'd go through with that because PlayStation 3 is still kicking. Maybe when that thing kicks the bucket, then we'll get something like that. But I don't know. They didn't say anything like that. But yeah, guys, that's it for this interview. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you'll like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll catch you in the next one.